All right, here we go. Final Xemnas fight. Or, yeah, Xemnas, thinking to Kingdom Hearts 2 too much. The triple Xehanort fight is actually what this is. Xemnas, Ansem, and young Xehanort. Very annoying, difficult fight. Challenging. Since we've already helped everybody, we get the two main masters, Riku and Mickey, back.
About time.
Sorry.
There's a bit of a problem with the,
Xemnas! Where's Kairi?
Wait, is she in trouble?
Yeah, Xemnas took her.
He allows himself a small smile.
Settle down, boy.
It's Sora!
The 13 darknesses and 7 lights have clashed 9 times, yielding these 9 keys.
But the math's a little off here. Where'd the 9 come from? We beat 3
we are
against
4
Riku,
short, but those 4 keys
which is 3.
will be produced
We beat
here
2
and
with
now.
Riku, which makes
Yeah,
5.
sure. And what makes
We
you think
beat
there'd ever
1
be any way we'd help you with that?
Kairi and
You forget
Axel,
I
which
planned
makes
for
6.
every eventuality.
And then technically we beat 2 if you count
Kairi.
Vanitas and
If you do summon Kingdom Hearts, we
Terranort,
will
which even
defeat
though
you,
Terra survived,
and we will
the
close
darkness
it again.
of Xehanort being thrust out of him could be
Perhaps.
considered the
that is
1 as well. But that leaves only
If
8.
you survive
So where's the
that
9th key? They never do explain that. Shion wasn't defeated unless, you know, they...
Go back
You
to
could
the ship.
theoretically say maybe that the replica that was Shion was overcome by regular Shion. By Shion's heart that was still alive coming out of Roxas into her, or out of Sora into her.
Riku!
If
Get
they
Mickey!
bother to explain that a little bit better, but they never do.
Back at you! Try this! It's over! Yeah, got him! Sorry. There! So long! Blade!
So this is where my rule ends.
The other explanation I used to think was that maybe destroying Axel's Keyblade, if Xemnas had actually destroyed it,
What's so funny?
would have been the 9th key.
I told you.
But they retconned that
There's a high
Remind, so that's
price to
obviously
pay
not
for
the
all of
choice.
this.
Of all the things they explained,
And what
they
price
really
would that
failed
be?
there. It's my small,
I'll go
major
back to my
niggling
time
with this
and
ending.
live out
I
my
don't
life.
like untidy math
But
and
Sora,
unexplained.
you're
My best
done
explanation is that
now. Your journey ends here.
that essentially the Xehanort inside of
Goodbye,
Shion was
Sora.
destroyed because
Your
Xehanort
time
was supposed to be using
in
these
this
as all his
world
vessels.
is-
So Shion, Xehanort was driven out,
Before
and
these broken keys. All begins and ends in darkness. Surrender.
Back at you! Back at you!
Ansem.
What a journey you and I have had.
You know, it's strange. I think I'm gonna miss you.
Your strength is vaster than darkness. I knew I never stood a chance. Part of me wanted to defy my fate. But when the others betrayed us, I found I did not care. And then, nothing else seemed to matter anymore.
Ansem.
What? It is time to move on, boy. There is more to seek. So go forth now and seek it.
Playing off of his name, Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, which is what he's officially known as.
Feel the emptiness.
It's horrible timing.
Back at you.
Are you ready? Or you
Take this. There.
What am I feeling? Bested yet again.
I know that you have a heart. What do you feel? Was it worth it?
I feel the emptiness where my companions once stood. I took them for granted. And now I have nothing. My first surge of emotion in years. For as long as I can remember, and its loneliness. Do you see? A heart is just pain.
Pain is being human, Xemnas.
Really? It must take incredible strength.
To be human.
"12 keys we have now. Leaving just one more. Now, Sora. Darkness and light's final clash.
And this is pretty brutal.
Kyrie!
You require motivation.
Kyrie! Why her?
Xehanort! You okay? Ultima! Upside!
Your Majesty! Riku! Oh, ah!
Now, the Keyblade War will finally reach its conclusion. Ah, the Keyblade is complete. Kingdom Hearts, I call upon your true form. Open now and show me the world to come.
We thought you might be able to use a couple of more half points.
Donald. Goofy.
Typical. You can't do anything without us, Sora.
Now wipe those tears. And let's go stop Master Xehanort.
Yeah. But he controls Kingdom Hearts now. And Kairi.
You worried?
Guys,
Sorry we
Nina.
took so long.
Japanese herb, everyone.
Had a couple of plot points that needed ironing out.
Master Xehanort.
He did it. He opened Kingdom Hearts.
So what now?
We've still got one hope.
Your Majesty, Riku, are you okay?
We're fine.
Yeah.
What hope?
It's Xehanort. During the Mark of Mastery exam, we learned that he can transcend space and time. He's a portal, and we can use that to trap him.
But it won't be easy. Aqua, Riku, I'll need both your help if we're gonna push Xehanort out of this world.
Understood.
Wait. I'll do it.
What?
Kingdom Hearts is a much bigger threat. Let me handle Xehanort, while you guys keep it shut.
Because he's the big darn hero, and he has to do it.
Right.
And he really, honestly should have proven through all these fights and helping everybody
Okay, Sora.
that he quite honestly has reached the higher
I got
point
this.
than all the rest of them.
Huh?
And again, like Kingdom Hearts Original and unlike Kingdom Hearts 2, we get to carry these two with us into the final battle, which is
Without
pretty nice.
Keyblades, it's not like we'll be much help here. Oh,
3 half pints together again.
Let's move. The darkness is spreading.
Sora.
Huh? Oh. Hey.
Kyrie will be all right. I can feel it.
Thank you.
But yeah, even here, I didn't really notice it before the first time I was watching this, but even here, he does have his Keyblade back, so Xemnas' big thing about possibly, you know, having the Keyblade back, about him losing his Keyblade and so easily, whatever, it was only temporary, which makes sense. We don't want the Keyblades to be like Bankai that are shattered and can't be repaired, and after all this time, suddenly this is revealed as an important plot point, and it makes no sense and is stupid. Now it's the main Kingdom Hearts theme.
Whoa. Where are we?
Kala at Kala. This is a really cool world. It gives me vibes of Bioshock Infinite. And apparently this was where Xehanort and Ericus trained to become Keyblade Masters.
It's beautiful.
Admire it another time.
Right. We need to find Master Xehanort.
Yeah.
No,
Xehanort has to be.
no map here because it isn't big enough to have a map.
Somewhere in town.
At least until we come back and rewind. Then suddenly there's a little bit more added, enough to give us one. Considering how long the end game has been, I don't care about it, but I have heard some criticism about Kingdom Hearts 3. It's that there isn't a proper final world. The Keyblade Graveyard is, you know, the final place we go to, but we'd already seen that in BBS, so it wasn't new. Like the world that never was in Kingdom Hearts 2, or Keyblade Graveyard was in BBS. And then it gave us Scala at Kylum, which looked really cool and seemed like a fascinating place, but was one room and then a series of battles, and that's it. So, which is very true. But this entire ending up to this point has been pretty large. As I'm looking at, Kingdom Hearts 3 seems so much smaller than the first couple of Kingdom Hearts. Not hugely so, but still decent. Now, I never noticed, but apparently each of these are basis off, because also I did know about each of them before, and Larxine's talk about becoming his heart tank didn't make a lot of sense. But each of these 13 Xehanort clones actually is empowered with powers of one of the 13 darknesses that he had, his organization 13. So it's part of, you know, with his printing his spirit upon them, making their powers for his use. Makes a little bit more sense and is more interesting. Of course, I never paid much attention because I always just did this. This can be an extremely difficult fight, but
Oh, I don't think they're the locals.
Ready? Huh?
There's Luxord's cards. Come on. Usually it goes a lot better. I can get off immediately and actually kill them all off with that one hit. Because they have a shared health bar and they take so much damage from it. This should finish them though. No, none of them are in range. Okay, there we go. It's a pretty stupid, annoying fight, but with ultimate weapon, a shot lock, and a little bit more, we'll usually just kill them outright. Infinity Circle is very good against enemies like that. There are some moments where it can work really well against Larxene too. This seemed really weird that he was facing that
Master
direction.
Xehanort.
And then suddenly turned, saw him there. But it looks like one of the things that they were planning for with...
once a seat of power for all Keyblade wielders.
Were for...
It is the nexus from which all worlds spring.
That's one of those things that looks like it was being prepared for Remind. Just like Xigbar getting cut off at the end of Olympus. And that cutscene later being revealed in full in Remind. A couple of the other things here.
Here I and my other selves can be one. United in Scala et Caelum.
Yeah, I never noticed before, but that's the chess pieces he and he used to play with. I thought that this world was from the pre-Keyblade War. I didn't realize that it was it existed before. I guess even though Destiny Islands was his home, this was the place that was most important to him. And so it's what he used as the blueprint now that he is Kingdom Hearts, having accomplished all this. Because this was where he grew up as a Keyblade wielder. I only knew that because of screenshots of Dark Road. The special gameplay expansion to Union Cross that allows you to play as young Xehanort and follow his path with Ericus and everything. Now he puts on his goat armor.
Let's get him.
Yeah.
And now we get some Doctor Strange action going on here.
You guys okay?
Down.
Xehanort!
We are just getting started.
Back off! Try this!
I think nothing will distract him.
Back at ya! Go! I know! Got him!
I'll take it.
Go get him!
Yeah, not that useful, unfortunately. Wonder if that actually did damage. Phase 2, the annoying water phase. The water forces us out of our form change, unfortunately, because you can't form change underwater. Okay, managed to burn my way through that one. You can see how hard it's been to kill me the last little bit. Having second chance, preventing you from dying when you're not at 1 HP is a huge deal. Since I regenerate so much, I'm almost never at 1 HP. As the attack takes me down to 1 HP and then I regenerate again. Once I get withstand combo, it's a whole lot better. And then it takes a hugely precise timing of powerful attacks that aren't combos to kill.
You have won?
No, naturally you've got a, that isn't even your final form. Goodbye, Xehanort. Now, final Xehanort. The old man without armor.
It's all over, Xehanort!
Why would you want the Chi Blade when you could have that?
You thought you could contain me here, knowing all that you do about connections? There is one sky, one destiny.
Every time he comes after us, he loses nearly a bar of health. Forcing a form change. Or a phase change, I should say.
Come, Kingdom Hearts!
Because I'm about to lose it anyway.
It's over.
Yep.
Enlighten me. Expire.
One last time. Now the super overly dramatic final cutscene attempt. At this point, we would call time in the speedrun. It's over, essentially. Or maybe they can call time after the actual last input of the battle. But just like with the laser dome, only even more so, it's already over at this point. Although it seems for a second like we failed somehow. Did I input something wrong? Because it goes to the Sora's dead screen. But rather than giving you the option or showing the heart coming out of him, he just sits there thumping. It always seems to be when I press X that he comes back, so it gives me one more input for Trinity, and I think that is actually time. The game is over to the point that even though I have all my easy codes still, and you can see they're there, I've lost my food by now, sadly, but managed to make it through. Went out probably at a really bad time. We've got the, I'm not regenerating health, my mana isn't regenerating either, because the game's already in an ended state. Wanted a chance to use shot lock on him too, but never got it.
Why? How?
It's over now! You lost!
No, look. You are too late.
Are we really?
I don't know.
Yeah, how's Donald supposed to know anything about
What's
it?
gonna
He's nothing
happen?
but a sidekick here.
A purge. The world will be returned whence it started. The world began in darkness, and from that darkness came light. From the light came the people, and the people had hearts. Evil burgeoned in those hearts, begetting more darkness. And that darkness spread across the world like a plague. The light.
And it wasn't until I, again,
symbol
watched
the
other of the
world's
Kingdom Hearts that I
hope, was
realized that
devoured by
the world,
shadow,
capital W, is the
leaving
Kingdom Hearts
nothing but
universe.
ruin
That they call their
and utter
universe just a world.
failure.
Of course, because, which actually makes sense when it was all one
But
world before it was
the
split
first
into the
light,
multitude of worlds.
the light of Kingdom Hearts. It
So
can
why
give
would
us
you
a
call it
new
something different?
start.
World is as good a name as
An
anything
empty
for
world, pure and bright.
that universe.
It wasn't your decision to make.
Then whose was it? The world needs someone to stand up and lead. Someone strong. To stop the weak from polluting the world with their endless darkness. Someone to dictate their destiny.
If so, you're not that person, Xehanort. A real leader knows that destiny is beyond his control, and accepts that.
You make me think of an old friend.
Look!
Oh.
Lena.
You made it!
Are you okay?
No, we're standing here because we're all dead.
Kingdom Hearts is closing on the other side, but we managed to follow our hearts to you.
Master Xehanort.
Now one of the weirdest parts of the thing.
There's more to light than meets the eye. As I told you.
You sly fox.
Ericus was really cool, but he had too much of the lawful stupid vibes in VBS, especially when he decided that doing whatever to Ventus, killing him, putting him into sleep, whatever he was intending, was the only way. And then, you know, fought Terra. It's the darkness taking you, Terra!
Now hand over the Keyblade, Xehanort. It is too late. For us, perhaps, but not for them.
But apparently somehow arranged this or knew about it, did Light from the past. I don't know how much he really helped with the chess match, if that was helping in some way to enable Sora to do this as he foresaw it. It's not explained, and while it's cool, it drives me nuts that there was no inkling that he was really that wise in PBS.
Enough.
But hey, this moment is really cool where he gets to do this. Brings a nice closure to the thing, and sometimes you don't get that closure in some of these storylines and stuff, where it feels like it should be between these two. That
I told you that you might be surprised.
Old generation overcoming the new kind of thing.
Yeah, you got me.
You totally cheated, but you got him.
Really? What? It's just, you never admit it when you lose. That's because I never lose. Oh, come on. Good game today. I try. Maybe I won't go as far as you. Huh? When the world needs a defender, they'll pick you, Ericus. Huh? You think? But that doesn't mean that I can't be there for you. Yeah, and I'll be there for you.
If Dark Road shows the brother relationship of these two well, it does a lot. One of the weird threads of BBS that even Xehanort reacts surprised after, you know, and when you piece the pieces together in his letter, his reports and things, when he starts deciding upon his fool's errand and Ericus recognizes it and decides to purge Light even if it's him, and Xehanort just lashes back and injures him. And then scars him and then leaves. But yet when he comes back with Ventus all years, as he says, Ericus welcomes him with open arms as if the fight never happened. Although it could be... There are explanations for that. It's really people and their personalities and relationships. We can try and imagine that, but
Terra, Aqua,
people do have
then
interesting personalities. And if
forgive
Ericus
your
was
foolish
that
teacher.
quick to anger and lash out, especially against darkness, he may very well have, rather than...
Master.
And that's one of the ultimate kinds of personalities. Rather than lashing out in anger and blaming Xehanort for going to darkness and scarring him. As he reflects upon it later, he feels ashamed of his own action in attacking Xehanort first.
Aqua, I left you with such a heavy burden.
Even if it was a pretty violent attack, he did actually get to do it, but he was thinking the violence first and
Terra,
feels
look
that
after
you
them
know,
for me.
that doing that to his old
Please.
friend was regrettable. Interesting personality type, capable of both super fast snap decisions that aren't good, but on making plannings that
Here,
are much, much, much deeper than that.
Betty, my friend. Yes.
Also, how much older was Xehanort? He considered himself like an older brother to Ericus, and he's obviously older. He's lost all his hair, and, well, his thing was always white, but he looks a lot more aged than Ericus does. Maybe a lot less. Maybe I'm over thinking it, because even though his beard is white, yes, and he's an old bald man, he might have just lost his hair relatively early, and he's always had white hair, so it's not like that's a sign of his actual age. Just because Ericus doesn't have the white hair, he also has about the same amount of age lines, really. Just his more hair makes him feel a little bit younger. But even 5 years wouldn't be too crazy enough to set them apart slightly in age while still being close enough to be pretty good friends and stuff. A 16-year-old and a 21-year-old, for instance, could be friends. A 20-year-old and a 25-year-old more so. Quite easily. And it might not even be 5, could be as few as 3 or even 1. And again, I'm just overestimating it. Just bald people with white hair look so old. I am prejudiced against bald people with white beards. They are old. Okay, now I have to guess when the music's going to start too, so I can mute it. Usually when I reach these points too, you know, the game's over. BBS was different, but it also had a lot shorter endings. And you knew you had the 3 of them, then the secret, then the final, then the secret episodes. DDS I was done with, DDD I was done with, I mean. Kingdom Hearts 2 I was mostly done with by the time I reached there, because you can do everything before the final world point. They never let you leave once you come here and get past a certain point, which was crazy, because all the battle fronts are there. Battle gates.
It's finally over.
But I want to go back and do Battlegate stuff that I couldn't before.
No.
Collect a few more things. And then
We'll
we have
find
to do
Kyrie.
Remind.
Let's head back to Master Yen Sid. We can figure it out.
Even though this is...
I know what to do.
Sora!
My whole journey began the day I lost her. And every time I find her, she slips away again. I thought we'd finally be together, but she's out there, alone. Not for one more second.
We have all the Remind stuff to do, plus more stuff that I want to do with this before we're finally done with the journey of Kingdom Hearts. So,
Donald.
This is the 31st
Goofy.
episode, I believe.
But this time,
if
I have to
I'm
go
doing
it
all my
alone.
counting right.
Sora, listen. The power of waking
3,
isn't to go
6,
chase
9,
hearts
10,
around.
Yep, 21,
Even
31.
if you do locate Kyrie,
Which is actually how many
you
episodes I
might
had in
never
Kingdom
come
Hearts
home
1
to
as
us
well.
again.
Which means
I
it's a
will.
comparable length, even
And
though
we'll
I
both be
relatively
back
sped through
before
Kingdom
you
Hearts.
know it.
Please.
I think I left a lot more undone in Kingdom Hearts than I've really left undone here. Although
Let him
there's a
go,
decent amount I've left undone.
Mickey.
Riku.
For one thing,
His
I never
heart and his
touched
mind are made
100
up.
Acre Wood in Kingdom Hearts.
Now believe in him.
Might have to do that for Tina sometime.
Yeah. Safe journey, Sora.
Thank you.
And now the very, very few true cutscene modes where there are only a few where they make him seem way different. It's kind of odd, the moments. They're a lot harder to spot, too. Yeah, this orchestral version I think is okay, so we don't have to worry about it. So we get all the moments for everyone. Mickey, Donald, and Goofy come home. Poor Pluto, except for some little cameos and flashbacks, basically disappeared after the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, when he was leading them with the letter from the king all the way to Castle Oblivion. At the land of departure, they make the grave for Master Ericus, or the memorial at least, using his Keyblade. There's Chirithy, and he recognizes her. Because he was a dandelion. Is Chirithy the only thing he remembers, just as they friends remember? They put the wayfinders there too, that's really good. Axel is finally wearing something different, though it's a black outfit. Roxas in his Ventus lookalike. Xion also seems to not be able to wear anything but black, but it's a cute little dress. And now Isa has been recompleted. Still has his X scar, however he got that. He brings the ice cream. But that's not all. Since they're in Twilight Town, hey, Roxas's other friends want to get to know him like they knew him in the other Twilight Town. That's quite a grouping there. That's all 7 of them. What is that little gang going to get in trouble? It's a good thing Cypher left. How's he going to deal with that whole group now banded together? Radiant Garden. Scientists have reconstructed Nominee. The re-showing of this and all the pieces of it and how it came back together is quite an interesting take, of course. And either Riku's taken Sora's gummy ship or he has one just like it. Which, of course, he calls the High Wind, because that's what he calls it. And Sora, of course, calls his the Toji Sucks. Not really, but it's supposed to be Excalibur is what the default is. But I don't know if you see any other Excalibur gummy ships after the first one. Maybe some of the ones in that place are. And now everybody gathers on Destiny Islands for a big party. Oh, I never noticed that before, but that frisbee they're using is one of the stupid frisbees that young Lee was trying to use as a weapon. For everything else, Donald is really good at sand statues to make a perfect replica of himself like that. Yeah, that's exactly that frisbee. That's clever. I didn't notice that, of course, before because I hadn't seen the scene. Things they don't really mean. I probably had that on too long to begin with, because that's probably going to copyright strike me. So hopefully I'll be able to get it cleaned up, but whatever. And there's Sora and Kairi together, and we're like, wow, yes, he rescued her. That's why everyone can be happy. And then this moment. And he vanishes. We're like, no, Sora's been lost. Person in charge of almost everything, Tetsuya Nomura. And now we get to see the still frames of the stuff happening. Sora using his key as his guiding light to search. Riku and Mickey in the realm of darkness. Yeah, they're there. And so on and so forth. But I really do love Kingdom Hearts 3. A lot of people seem to have been disappointed in it. I've seen a lot of videos with titles like Kingdom Hearts 3, a disappointment and stuff, and other people, even those who liked it well enough as a series still, felt that there wasn't enough and really liked Kingdom Hearts 2 a lot more. And Kingdom Hearts 2 was near perfection, and it is kind of 1B to 1A, and if I was to make a list of the Kingdom Hearts in order of greatness. But Kingdom Hearts 3 is definitely a lot better, I think, for a filthy casual like me. It feels very strong despite everything. There's enough in there to make it easily doable and playable. Lots of fun, different modes of combat. Combat in Kingdom Hearts 2 could probably be better. It just gives you more overall options. But just for spamming powerful stuff and seeing amazing things happen, you can't beat most of Kingdom Hearts 3. Storyline-wise, it's really hard to compare any of them. The story is a very mixed bag. It's got some definite high and good moments and a lot of stuff that just makes no sense and is really stupid. And you have to stretch your imagination to understand it, or to give it some semblance of sense and understanding. But with the characters, which are the most important thing, you really connect with them. It does good things with them. I really love all the characters in this story, and it has its frustrating moments, but it's good. World-wise, it feels a little bit better than most of Kingdom Hearts 2 story-wise, I think, although there isn't very much of it. Meat-wise, it definitely is lacking. As I say, this is 31 episodes, and I didn't exactly breeze through this thing. And I had some moments that were surprisingly difficult for me. Unlike in Kingdom Hearts 2 on beginner, I mean, I just had 51 videos before I got to the data org, 20 more than Kingdom Hearts 1, and 20 more than we are at right now. And some of them are longer than others, but I think overall it's a pretty even estimate of the time frame and all that. And for it to be that far behind kind of shows that there's a lot missing. And maybe you can say that a lot of it is the extra padding in Kingdom Hearts 2, which maybe kind of makes it a little bit worse, but at least it is optional. But that's everything in Kingdom Hearts 3 does make it seem a little bit bare. Not to mention the lack of super bosses and other things. Although, also to be fair, Kingdom Hearts 2 only had one real semi-super boss in its initial release as well. Although I think part of the expectation of people who are disappointed in all of that was the fact that by this time, after spending so much time, you would think that it would already be a final mix. Because, yes, games like BBS and Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts had their final mixed releases that came afterwards that added so much more stuff. But Kingdom Hearts was already in development for so long, and they'd already seen everything else that had been done. Why didn't they have a critical mode coming in? Why didn't they have additional super bosses coming in? Why didn't they have a bunch of extra additional content? There isn't really all that much. The cooking mini game works in game, and it's a bit annoying. I mean, there's some stuff you can do with the gummy ship, but it isn't that much more than what I did. Hunting down Heartless, visiting, there's only a couple of treasure points per world there. The battle gates we will go see, and I'll do some of that other stuff, but searching around for all the items and things is not nearly the same as the things that are in just the massive amount of worlds that you visited in Kingdom Hearts 2. I could probably turn this music on, it's probably okay. Good scenes here as we start to see more continuation of the rest of the characters. The non-Kingdom Hearts exclusive style characters, or the main Disney cast, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, all the rest. Look, your statue's been fixed. Yay! I'm sure he cares a lot about his statue. But they would have wanted to show him that. They care about him, so. Now Phil gets his spotlight, at least showing his emotions, even if they couldn't use his Japanese voice. Rest in peace, sir. One thing I do have to say is that it is a huge disappointment, the lack of Final Fantasy in the game. And I kind of understand their logic in it, that they didn't want it to be so much about the Final Fantasy. They wanted to do more with the Disney worlds they were given. That was more exciting to them. And they wanted to focus on the main story of the game itself and not have the, Final Fantasy characters be a distraction. They just ended up deleting them from the game, although the assets were there and they were able to use that in Remind to try and satisfy us. Hint, it didn't actually work. I'll get to that. But considering that Kingdom Hearts was built on the base of Final Fantasy plus Disney, the utter lack of Final Fantasy was a bit disappointing. Now, it's not totally gone. It's still got the base of Final Fantasy, all the spells in Final Fantasy format, the items are Final Fantasy items, the Moogles in Final Fantasy are there, but why no Chocobos? Why do there never Chocobos in the Kingdom Hearts games, I wonder? That would have been a great place to it. This is one of my favorite scenes, too. They're wondering what happened to their world, their friends are back, and suddenly Andy comes in, and just that, their little wink there sharing together, they're like, yes, our world's back to normal. All is good. Jumping around the worlds in kind of a weird order, though. All the way to Pirates of the Caribbean now. Well, whatever. But especially not seeing a conclusion to the Cloud Sephiroth story. Not having a Sephiroth fight is a huge disappointment, even with everything else Remind gave us. And maybe you could say Yozora is even better, being the ultimate super boss fight in all of Kingdom Hearts, and it really is truly probably the ultimate super boss fight. But not having any of that in there just feels a little empty, which is why I've been naming all of these videos after a obscure Final Fantasy title, not real Final Fantasy titles. Basically, I throw Final Fantasy and been throwing on usually some other game or maybe a movie or something I've been trying to make them like, but making up fake Final Fantasies that way that each of these things is about. And again, that influence is still there. The characters who are not Disney, specifically like the organization and everything, those are Kingdom Hearts characters. Ienzo and Ansem and, Isa and Lee, however, I think he pronounces his name differently at times too. Zigbar and all the rest. These are Final Fantasy characters. Their hairstyle, their expressions of face. They're at least Tetsuya Nomura Final Fantasy characters. The ones from 7, 8, 10, the primary ones he did a lot. You definitely see those marks of them. So, in that sense, Radiant Garden is kind of a Final Fantasy world on its own, although it doesn't look super very Final Fantasy-like. It does look like it's more Disney-based. Another visit with Boo. She's so cute, baby. Cute little Boo. But, even so, overall the combat, the movement, makes playing the game feel fun. Kingdom Hearts 2 was the same way in a lot of ways. And the higher difficulty, Kingdom Hearts 2 is definitely a tougher game. It really is. So if you don't like how easy Kingdom Hearts 3 is, Critical's a lot harder. It would have been a lot rougher on me if I didn't have the super OP HP regeneration, but I did that specifically so I could. And so I wasn't spamming attractions throughout. One of the things I might do in my trek around the worlds, I'm not sure how much of it I want to record if it's just the battle gates, but I'm going to be exploring the worlds a little bit too, finding a couple more lucky emblems on some of them, especially Olympus when you didn't get a chance to take lucky emblems. Taking the pictures that I need of specific things to get some of those, just to freshen out a last couple bits of weapons or armor specifically, and other things before I take on Remind. Because Remind, especially the Data Orc fights and the Yozora fight, are going to be difficult, even with some of the cheat codes I've got in line, particularly Luxord. The minigame aspect of Luxor makes him the toughest for me. When I practiced on him a lot and got it down where I could beat him, but I was trying again recently, and he was just toasting me. Golly, he's so hard. Hard for people like me who aren't good with those minigames. Gophers help you with your crops. Usually they're banes to farmers, but you know, that's the world of Winnie the Pooh. All the animals working and helping together, and all of them eating fairly good stuff. Tigger should be a carnivore, definitely. The bear should be an omnivore, eating some of them, but he's only interested in honey. Not much else. Whatever. I was very satisfied with it, and I'm looking forward to the games to come. They're probably, being the way that they've done the Kingdom Hearts game, they're probably going to do several parts. At least one, and I would wager probably, based on how they're doing it, probably 2 or even 3 games. I'm going to say 3. About a journey to find Sora and return him to the world of light. That's probably going to deal with some stuff with Tui based on the final ending scene we see. The final ending, which they call Yozora, Night Sky. And based on, it'll probably involve some Tui. It'll involve stuff with Versus 13/Firam Rex and with Yozora there. I don't know if the fight with the Foretellers is going to start then, but probably there will be some involvement learning about them and what's been going on before they do Kingdom Hearts 4, and that is all going to be an excuse. Bringing Sora back to the realm of light is once again going to put him back to level 1. So you have to journey brand new again, re-level totally in Kingdom Hearts 4, which hopefully that will actually be it for concluding the Foreteller saga. So we have no clue how far he wants to stretch that out or what he wants to do with it, but we're going to learn quite a lot about Subject X, this mysterious girl, and her connection to the Foretellers, what more happened to the Dandelions, and it's going to be involved there. Things I'm really hoping for going forward too is going to be more playable characters and cleaning up the other playable characters in the games. Because it's fun as a distraction, but if you were trying to play a full game as most of these characters, it would be difficult. They don't have all the commands that Sora does. They don't... their feel is... They're just about right for the brief battles. Roxas in Dual Blade Wielder against Axel in Kingdom Hearts 2 is essentially the same as Roxas dual blade wielding in the brief time you get him in Remind, and it's kind of fun in that fight, but he's lacking a few of the things Sora has, and so it would be frustrating. But if you could build them up as playable characters with more expansive things, kind of similar to how Riku was in Dream Drop Distance, that's the best example. He played a lot like Sora, a little bit different, had a few unique abilities. The game, you know, but they give each of those characters a chance. Give us a chance to play some of these other characters would be fun. And more importantly, the ability to build a party a little bit more. So you get to choose which 2 helpers you have out. They might not do that because they really want Goofy and Donald to be the usual sidekicks, but it just would feel nice and feel right if you could swap in Xion and Roxas for this one. And maybe Axel and Ventus for the next. And then maybe have Terra and Aqua together as your sidekicks, you know, do that kind of stuff. Even if they didn't allow you to swap, but just had them as regular companions with you for a large portion of certain worlds, have that instead of Disney worlds, for instance. Also, speaking of Disney worlds, we definitely want to see the Disney worlds of this expand into an Avengers world or a Marvel world of some sort, and a Star Wars world. Why not? Please give us these other Disney products now. They belong to Disney. How hype would that be to have Sora running around with Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian? That would be so hype. That's what I want to see. And then with the Avengers running around with Peter and Tony and Steve and all the rest. Now let's go into the two final videos. No Name has completed its journey.
Finally, back where it belongs.
Ira, Envy, Acid, and Gula. Gula is a boy, by the way, just in case you didn't catch that before.
Did you summon us back?
Yep.
Is that you, Lucio? You look different.
Haven't heard that name in a long while. These days they call me Zigbar, but hey, whatever suits you.
Is it really you?
Yeah, but some time ago I had to cast my old form away. Been through plenty more semblances since, but it's still me underneath it all.
What happened? Why are we here? You tell me!
I had a role to play. And after all these years, it's done.
What role?
I guess Ava didn't make it after all.
Meaning what?
I told her, clear as day, what it is I had to do.
And is that why you decided to exclude her?
As if. Ava had her own mission, and she carried it out.
I've heard enough! Lucio, what was your role?
I hope you like long stories.
Oh, right. What's this? I heard about this new game.
And notice he magically has the pieces that mark to the foretellers. There's the unicorn, the tiger, goat again.
7 black pieces.
So there are 2 more black pieces they're missing. One might be Master of Masters.
Just watch.
If he does come back and is the enemy in the following. But there might also be a... and then if it's Ava as well, which would make me sad because I'm really partial to Ava right now after all the things I've seen and the suspicions I have. But she may end up returning and be the 7th, or it could be 2 others who are joined to those 5. He says just watch those down, so you think it's what, 7 black pieces and 1 white piece? That'd be terribly unfair. Hopefully we don't get a solo Sora game as the final part of that battle, whatever it's going to be. So this is referenced partially in Remind, although it's not out of the question that whatever this game thing becomes, that Riku will return to here in his dreams, or somehow finds his way here pursuing Sora. It ends up in this place. This is assumed to be Master of Masters. It's hard to really say because that's very nice, making the heart of Kingdom Hearts out of the moon like that, because it does look very much like it. Reconnect Kingdom Hearts. Like, they throw that at the end of so many things. So before ending this, nice little outfit there. So is that Ventus or Roxas? It's impossible to tell right now, and it actually kind of bugs me because both make sense. Because both are the friends of Axel, who's also there as well. Ventus was the first one, but Roxas makes a little bit more sense. Anyway, of course, most used Keyblade was the ultimate weapon. Distance traveled, 55 kilometers, or 34 miles. 115 times I used ultimate form. Completed 44% of gummy ship stuff. That's pretty incredible considering I didn't do hardly anything. 41 out of 90 lucky emblems. I cooked mushroom terranet 6 times. Several other things 6, but that's at the top, so starter will always win. 20 hours, 30 minutes game time, which isn't too bad, really. 3,166 enemies defeated. Okay, we'll continue on with this. Before I end this video, I'm going to go ahead and, since it's of interest to the people who generally, the intended audience of this, my direct family, there have been a couple more announcements about future Kingdom Hearts content. Even though it was the end of the Darkseeker saga, that the stories will continue in future games. So in January, Nomura said there would need to be more time before the next main entry of the series, of course. We'll have to expect probably at least another 5 years, I would guess. But there are 2 new development teams, separate from those that worked on the Remind DLC and the Union Cross Dark Road team, working on Kingdom Hearts content. There's one more announced game, Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, an upcoming rhythm-based game for the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. It's going to be the first Kingdom Hearts game on Switch, not that it matters so much to me. It's supposed to be released sometime in 2020, provided that COVID and stuff do not delay it too much. It's going to feature 140 songs, see players travel to each stage in a gummy ship, and features gameplay similar to Theatrhythm Final Fantasy. It'll continue Kairi's story from the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, with Nomura saying the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind's title screen laid some groundwork for it, which I guess would be this title screen right here, with those two sharing the Pow Pow fruit, their feet in the water. So we'll see when that comes out. It is going to be on PS4, so I'm going to have to get it probably at some point. I'm not big on rhythm games, but maybe sister will insist I get it for her and she will play it. But anyhow, that's going to be it for this for now, but we're not done with Kingdom Hearts 3 by a long shot. We've got some cleaning up of other things, just random stuff to see that I want to show off, and then of course Remind. So later with that.